All right, who wants to go on the first question? You can just raise your hand. I'll see you. Boom, Ben. Quick on the draw. I like it. Hold on, Ben. I gotta unmute your mic here, so just give me a second. Oh, these things are so complicated sometimes. All right, Ben, unmute. Let's see if that does it. Okay, Ben, you're live. Go ahead with your question.
Hey, everybody. So I've been a photographer for about 40 years, and I do editorial and I do portraiture, and I've been doing fine art on the side. And for a lot of years, I was selling most of my work through art buyers in New York and outside of New York, in Boston, selling to hotels, office buildings, commercial spaces, and getting really, really good fees. But things have changed the last few years, at least in New York. And I've done the shows. There are very, very few places in Manhattan and Brooklyn to do these street shows anymore. They just aren't happening. I've been there, I've explored it. And so I'm looking for a new avenue to sell my work. And I love this. I love my website that you guys did for me. It's great. I get a lot of good feedback. But the problem I'm having is most of my email addresses that I have, all my contacts, are the clients I've had for 30, 40 years. Now, a lot of them aren't even around anymore. They're out of business, they're dead, whatever. So I am looking for a way to accumulate new contacts. I mean, I've been doing Instagram, I'm posting all the time. I'm putting my pictures of, that this photo is available at shopart.benason.com. I just don't know what to do.
Okay.
It was a lot easier when people came to me and my clients coming to me saying, "Hey, Ben, I want to buy this picture of Central Park for our hotel."
And Ben, question for you. In the last year, how much have you sold offline, roughly?
I've sold 2 images.
Okay. So essentially, essentially, that to me is if you've only sold 2 images in the last year offline, you're technically not really selling well offline. You're basically a startup company, right? You had this channel that was working for you, despite the fact that you had things working in the past. You had this channel that was working, which was these agents and this commercial and all this stuff, and it dried up on you. Is that right?
Yes, but one of the problems is that most of the stock agencies I worked with, which would buy your photographs for $300, $400, $500 and more, are now buying images for $25, and the amateurs are selling those pictures. And they don't care about making money. They just want to see this stuff up in a wall. Right. So do I, but I want to make a living doing this, at least on the side. So, I mean, I'm still working photographer and I do assignments. So.
Right. Okay. So you've sold 2 prints offline in the last year.
Right.
Your email, I'm just summarizing. In your email list, what you're essentially saying is you've got an email list, but it's useless.
It's not useless, but I kind of feel like I don't want to keep sending emails to my clients all the time about buying photographs. I just don't think it's. I mean,
why would you do that?
Why would I do that?
Yeah.
Well, because now a lot of my clients are younger. They're probably like my son's ages, and they do buy photographs, but and they buy photographs for like $100, $50, which is fine. I want to sell my work affordable to people. I don't care about. But I'm just finding I'm stumped. I just don't know.
Well, that's okay. That's okay. I mean, you're in a very common position, right? So
I know.
So let's talk through this. Let's work through this. So your email. I'm going back to your email list. I'm gonna keep digging in here a little bit. All right. Sure. So back to the email list. When I was asking you a second ago, why would you ask these customers to buy? What I was saying is nobody's asking. Like I'm trying to tell you, nobody's asking you to do that. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to ask these people to buy all the time. I want you to romance them. But here's the thing: we have to have like a reality of like understanding like what is this email list? How many people are on? Is it really anything, or is it really? Do you really just kind of consider it like okay? It's just a small thing, and it's basically I'm starting from scratch, because it's important to have that mindset, like that understanding.
I guess so. I guess I was a little bit. The first day I launched my website, I sold a print.
You did, okay. From that list.
From that list.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So okay. So, and how big is the list?
A client that I barely do any work for anymore because he's just not in that business anymore.
Right.
For a print.
How big is the list?
I'd say it's about 500 emails.
Okay. Okay, cool. So the thing is that like, if you want to err on like the selling less side, romance more. It's all about providing value. You know what I mean? So like, I follow quite a few art storefronts, photographers and artists. Okay. And I love getting their emails, right? Because they're giving me value all the time. Like there's new images on there. They're telling a story. And there's certain ones that I follow. I don't just follow it because I like their work. I follow it because I have some sort of an emotional connection with their subject matter. And so when I see them on Facebook or Instagram, just in these random moments throughout the day or in my email box, they're like brightening up my day, right? Like they're like a little bit of a light for like that 5 seconds or whatever it is. And so if you're doing that, then you should feel like you should always be feeling like you're giving to those people, you know, and your marketing should come from that. And that way, those people that you have on your email list and on in your social following are actually useful to you. Now, some of those people might be useful because they might buy like that one person did when you launched the site. But the other people need to be like, hopefully you can make them useful for you by getting them to share your work, you know, and forward emails along and things like that. That's what the giveaways are for, right? The giveaways are one of the best tactics that we've come up with. They're kind of a hack to take anything that you've got, these seeds, and to amplify them and to get more people. And then what happens is, so if you have 500 and you really execute a really good giveaway, you might end up with 600 at the end of that, or maybe 650 or something. And then hopefully compound that after the fact. If it's not compounding, then you already know right there that they're not really, they're not, those people are not like amplifying your message, and they may not be as useful to you, which means essentially you are starting more from scratch just as a percentage. Like you might say your 500 emails, okay, I'll consider 50 of them worthwhile. You know, you could also look at your open rates on the email. If you're getting 20% or so, that's 20% is probably like an average, and Pat could dial that in a little bit further. So if you're sending them emails and you're getting a 20% open rate, they're kind of behaving like the average follower. So, but anyways, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is that when I did the giveaway, I actually sent an email to an architect I know, and he actually shared the giveaway with about 15 people. So I actually did get 15 new email addresses. I haven't done much with it, though. When I did my announcement who was getting the print, I sent it to everybody.
Right. Okay. So you got 15 new emails from the 500 that you sent out.
Yeah.
And did you not have? I'm assuming when you've done this, you probably don't have like a large social following yet, right?
No, I don't. On Instagram, I have about 400 people following me right now. But
okay,
some of these people I don't even know who they are.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Did you follow the whole giveaway playbook? Like, and did you post the giveaway to social media and all that stuff?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
I did it. I did it on Instagram. I did it on Facebook, and I sent out an email blast.
Good job.
Right. Okay. So good. That's good. So the key thing is the key thing here is this just basically goes back to, and you know this, I'm going to tell you what you know, but this goes back to the number one metric, right? Which is generating leads, generating qualified leads, or you got to generate leads. And of that, a percentage will be qualified leads. But if you focus on generating leads, you know, the rest will usually take care of itself. And so you had a faucet in the past that was, you know, generating you sales and leads, right? Like these agents and whatever it was.
Right.
And that kind of dried up. You're left with a 500 person list, and you kind of need to find and get a new faucet going, right? So we have a list. I don't know if you saw that list that we published on the last one. It's called it's like ideas for generating leads, something like that. We'll add it into the show notes. If you're anxious and you want to grab it, you can look at the last meeting that we did last Tuesday, and it's in the resources for that one. Okay. And basically what that is we've accumulated everything that we know that has successfully generated leads, you know, for like from our perspective, coaching people, and by polling this entire community of Art Storefronts members, like every tactic that's worked, right? And our goal is we just put that together like in one organized thing last week because we knew that we really needed it. We kind of had it in one other document, but we've really added to it, and we're going to continually add to it. And my suggestion is to go down that list and look at the things that you think you want to try, you know, that are like the easiest things for you to try, and just start chipping away at them and run small experiments.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Because look, that's the best that we can, I mean, the best that I can do, you know, is, and I got to pass it over to Pat here, but the best thing that I can do is I got to get you every single way that we know that has ever worked for generating leads for everybody. And for everybody listening right now, that's exactly what you need as well. You need that list. We're going to constantly add to it. So if you download it today, like 3 months from now, there probably are going to be 5 more things on there that have worked for other art storefronts, photographers, and artists to generate leads. And so what's going to work for you is going to be different than what works for anybody else. But I think that when you read through this list, it's really going to get your creative juices going. And you'll think about like, okay, I see what these people are doing and what's going on here. Maybe there's some different ways to apply it to my market, right? And like, and your situation, like some of the things you can't do, you know, because you're in New York. I would also encourage you to look outside of wherever you're at, like, you know, within a 50-mile radius or 100-mile radius, and just kind of, it may not work for you, it may not apply, but I always tell people, like, if you're successful at art fairs, like I know some people who do like $3,000 to $5,000 in art fair, and they're like, okay, and now I'm trying to go and sell everything online, and I'm trying to do this whole strategy with Google ads and all this stuff. And I go, wait, whoa. You've got something working already at your art shows. And like, this was particularly talking to a photographer in Austin. And I said, look at have you looked at San Antonio? Have you looked at Dallas? Have you looked at Houston? Have you looked at all these big cities that are around? Like, look at every show that you could possibly go to. Look at every farmer's market, because the abstraction is you've gotten shows to work, right? So pour gasoline on that, collect as many leads as you possibly can from that, and then take that and put that into the Art Storefronts digital strategy and build upon that. And pretty soon you'll hire somebody to do the shows for you. You won't have to do those things anymore. I know a lot of people don't like doing them, but don't hang on that, you know? Don't worry about that. But you see my point there, right?
Sure. I like shows. I like doing shows.
That's awesome. I think they're phenomenal.
No,
Look,
I'm a cruiser. I like to talk to people. That's why I've been doing this my whole life. The problem is in New York City, it just isn't happening anymore. Art galleries are shutting down in New York.
Yes, they're shutting down everywhere. Maybe there's other venues that are not shows. Think about, instead of saying shows, like think about like what can you do in person anywhere, like upscale hotels. You know what I mean? Like, can you get in the lobby of upscale hotels or things like that? I mean, just don't hang on the exactness of what I just said, but think about that. Like, start researching, because everywhere when I research in Austin, I've been showing people this, that there's things going on, and the artists and the photographers seem to be the ones that are not there. And I don't know why. It's like there's crafters and there's some other people, but they're missing it. And we're in a big city like Austin, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, there is such a great demographic here. There's homes that are $3 million a mile away, yet nobody, like, it's just gone over everybody's head in a big city. So I know these things exist. But Pat, let me pass it over to you.
Yeah, the better question to ask during those fairs is, are there going to be other artists and photographers there? Well, then I don't want to be there. I don't need to be juried. I don't need you to tell me my work is awesome. I don't care. I want access to buyers, and I'll set up and I'll be able to talk, right? Like, that's almost what it comes down to. But what an amazing career you've no doubt had, Ben. I mean, way back in the day when you got started, when the value of a photograph was way up here, and then now just down, like commodity level. Everyone with the phone in their pocket all the time. Stock photographer. I mean, people are putting almost 100% of their work online just for free, trying to get a link back to their website. I mean, it's ridiculous. The good news is you don't have to follow any of those games, and you can go unconventionally.
I've been on Fine Art America I was there for like 3 years. I'm still on that. I don't even look.
Yeah.
So I have 10 pictures of Cape Cod. I go on Fine Art America. There's probably 300,000 pictures of Fine Art America of Cape Cod. If they did it alphabetically order, I'd be in really good shape, because my last name starts with an A.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way, and it just doesn't work. I know so many photographers on there. They have never sold anything.
So do we.
Yep, we hear it all the time. There's just too many people there. There's too much going on. I mean, the good news, Ben, is that you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're willing to email, you've gotten past those digital hurdles, and so you need to find some channels that work, and we have a list of them, and there's some ways to go about it. I mean, given your subject material, one of the ones that I really, really like right now, and we're gonna build out a playbook on this, but you get onto Instagram, you find an account that you think curates photos that would potentially have a list of buyers that are interested in your work. You send them a direct message and you say, hey, here's who I am. Here's my website. You can check out my work. I'd love to give you a print that you can give away for free. All I ask for in return is a link back to my website. Is that something you'd be interested in? See what they say. And the beauty of it is that you can do this. You can do this again and again and again and again. Right. I mean, it takes 2 seconds, and it's like you can send up to 50 of them a day. You can cherry pick and hand pick the ones you really like. Like what did you say your style was? It's portraiture. Is that what you said?
Well, I shoot water towers in New York City. I've had a couple of book publishers interested in them. The problem is that they tell me now with books, and I thought a book would be a great idea, is that more people want to make books than actually buy books.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Millennials don't buy photography books. They just don't.
Yeah.
At least not in New York, because I go to all the big photography bookstores in New York, and that's what the book people tell me. They're just not selling, unless it's Ansel Adams, and even that stuff isn't even selling anymore.
Yeah.
It's been done. It's been done so much, so.
It is. You got to just approach it unconventionally. And then, the other thing, which is just such a kicker, which is just, it's life, is the game has changed. Nobody cares how long you've been in business, how good you are with the camera. You're essentially starting in the digital capacity from scratch. And I know that is just like, to hear that is like, oh my gosh, are you serious? I mean, I hear that now where I'm like 40 and I have to go do like work that I was doing in my 20s, and it freaks me out. So I get it. But
when I was 40, I had a dark room.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. No kidding.
And it was great.
That's awesome.
Love that.
So stay on the turntable and do my printing.
Yeah, one of the things, and I'll have Taylor put it in the notes, but we did a Facebook Live on this literally yesterday, and I walked through the step-by-step tactical in pretty good detail on how to do this thing that I'm talking about on Instagram, and it really is effective. It absolutely works. I'm going to continue to do more case studies with it, and it's like, look, you can either go into the digital marketplace and give your money to Zuckerberg in the form of ads, or you can invest in a print that you're going to give away on the Instagram platform and have that be your advertising costs. And I think it can be insanely effective. So in the notes that come out as soon as this is done, again, Taylor put the link to that Facebook Live in the show notes. We're generating this thing live as we go. So literally everything that we mention is a follow-up resource will be in that thing, and we'll have it to you as soon as this broadcast is done. Okay.
How about ads on Facebook?
What's that?
How about ads on Facebook?
Yeah, I like ads on Facebook, but I have a big, much longer rant on ads on Facebook. I'll give you the gist, and I do have an in-depth podcast that I recorded, as well as like a really in-depth tactical on how to get started with Facebook ads. The problem with Facebook ads, and I use the same analogy all the time, but I think it works. You're going fishing, right?
Right.
And you're steaming your boat out onto the water to try and go fishing. And most people think the line they have in the water is Facebook ads. That's all well and good, but what if the swordfish aren't biting that day? What if it's bottom fish? Or what if it's squid? Or what if it's marlin or some other fish? If you don't have all the other lines in the water, then you just steamed all the way out to the ocean with one line in the water. And let me tell you, the ocean's a big place. So you have that one line in the water. What are those other lines? Your follow-up marketing. You're emailing. Are you emailing on a regular basis? You're posting to all the social networks on a regular basis. They're having sales on a regular basis. If you don't have those other activities baked into your art business, you are not going to survive trying to go after cold traffic on Facebook. It just doesn't work.
Or any cold strategy when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because it's all just putting leads into the top. Like that's where so many people go wrong, is that, they do one thing, but because they don't have the follow-up marketing is the art marketing calendar. Period, right? So if you put things through the top and you're not doing the follow-up marketing, you're never going to get the ROI from that cold channel, right? The whether it's Facebook or whatever it is. And so that's where it always falls flat. So you got to make sure that you're going to do that to get the most out of anything, But what I also, Ben, what I would pass to you is I've started 6 companies in the last 22 years. Okay. And what Pat said is correct. That's where I said to you, like, you're kind of a startup company. And it's just like, I saw the look in your eyes. You're like, I don't want to hear that. I do not want to hear that, because you're really not. You're really not. But I tell you that because I really want you to leave with the mindset of a startup entrepreneur. And I want to give you what my mindset is, because I've gotten exceedingly good at the stage that you are at, right? And what you do in that stage is you look at the entire list of things that you can possibly do. And I want you to take our list, but I also want you to have your own list that you generate from that, right? Like where, as you're reading it, you know, having your coffee or whatever, you're going to get ideas in your head. It's going to inspire you, and you'll have your own idea list. But the mindset that you have to have as a startup is, I'm going to test every one of these things, but I'm going to dip my toe in on every one. So you said Facebook ads, of course, like dip your toe in, try it. You know what I mean? Like what dip your toe in means, don't spend a bunch of money. You know, look at Pat's Facebook ads course that he has. It's really well done. And, you know, be careful because you're spending money on that one. There's other ones you don't have to spend money on. But like, if it's me, I look at every one of those things and I go, okay, there's a show. What show can I do this Saturday? Right? Is there a farmer's market? Is there one 75 miles away? I don't care. I'll drive 100 miles because I just want the answer. I mean, I'll figure out the rest from there. I may not like the fact, like, let's say that show just is awesome and it does really well. I might not know what to do from there, but I want to know if that strategy actually works. And I'm going to either check that off or I'm going to cross it off that list. So you want to run very fast experiments, but make sure that the experiment is thorough enough to where you're basically saying, yes, this is going to work, or no, it's not. But don't worry about what you want to do for the rest of your life yet. I don't want to do shows, or I do. And I'm speaking to other people who might feel that way, not you, or any of these things. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do Facebook ads all the time or whatever it might be. Just go through that list and find what works, and you will learn. And then when you find something, then you hone in on it and you go, okay, you analyze it and you go, what worked there and why, right? Okay, like the right demographic of people were there. Maybe it was a certain area. Maybe it was a certain city that really resonates with your material, right? And you start unpacking that, and then you look for ways to expand that, right? And so that's the mindset that you want to have. So be nimble, be quick, go through that list. Don't overcommit to anything, but dip your toe on as many of them as you can. Like Pat said, try to have like 20 lines in the water, right? So for the next 3 months, if you can, just try a whole bunch of different stuff, and hopefully one of those gets traction.
Okay.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Okay, Casey, I saw you had your hand up, so I'm going to unmute you, lower your hand. Okay, Casey, you're on.
Okay. Well, another photographer here. So I guess it's photographer day at the moment. But my challenge is, so I've the main thing I've gotten traction with is doing shows. So festivals, in the summertime in Colorado, I've done okay at. But the challenge I'm having is, it seems like sometimes my online marketing or having a website competes with it. In other words, since I'm not selling originals, people look at my booth and say, "Oh, okay, yeah, you have stuff online? Great. I'll go check that out and buy something later," which,
never
as
happens.
we all know, never happens.
Right.
So that's been kind of my challenge.
So Casey, say that again. So you typically tell us. So you're selling original, like one-off photographs sometimes, and then you're also selling prints. Okay, tell us.
I'm selling my prints in the booth, and then I also offer them online on Art Storefronts. So as soon as they ask, "Well, do you have stuff online?" Well, yeah, great. We'll go online and look at all your stuff.
That's an excuse,
and it never happens.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
an
almost
excuse.
Like it feels like sometimes my website is working against me.
Right.
With the shows. Yeah.
So what you got to do? So number one, how many are you collecting leads? Are you following the fishbowl, the whole playbook that we have?
Yeah, I haven't done it, all the way through, but I have been doing print giveaways to get email leads, and that has started to work a bit better for me the last few shows.
And are you working it thoroughly too? You're sending the email. Here's the winner. Sorry you didn't win. Here's a discount. Following up with those folks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I generally give a 20% discount.
So you just started doing that on like the last 3, you said?
I've been more consistent lately. I've always had kind of an email sign up, but I've been doing the giveaway more consistently over the last, I would say, last summer I really started doing that consistently every show. And
okay, good.
Starting to see some results out of that, as far as just numbers of people in my list. It's not huge yet.
So you're the guy, I love the position that you're in, Casey, because you've got a channel working, right? Like your art shows, your festivals, you're making sales there. Anywhere you're making sales, you can be collecting like 20, 30, 40 times the amount of leads sometimes, And if you do that, if you've been doing that for many, many years, you'd have like a massive list right now, right? But
well, no, it's not. It's around 500, just
right.
shy of 500, but yeah.
But now that you're following the whole playbook and you're doing all that, hopefully you can get a lot more and you can build that. What I would tell you about to make your website not compete, what I would do is, and you may want to adjust your offering, like try this one time and see how it works. But instead of doing a giveaway, give people an incentive to, if they sign up for your email list, they get 25% off on the spot, or 20%, or whatever it is. Have it be significant. And even if you have to price up your work, right? Like to get the margin that you want, the profit margin that you want, then do that. But have like a nice sign right there, and the whole thing. And it's like, and then you can tell people, hey, I will give you 25% off if you buy something today, right? So like when you're in person, this is like a principle, like at trade shows. It's like a long-standing principle, but you want to always have a reason for people to buy on the spot, so that if they really do leave, they probably weren't going to buy, So you make sure that that's front and center, and then they've got a reason to get on your list as well. So you're going for the sale number one, but as a close second, you're getting them on the list. And so you can say, hey, you can get 25% off today if you sign up for my list, and then you're also on like my insider coupon list, or to get to be the first to see my new stuff and things like that. There's creative ways to do that, but that will help you not compete with yourself, right? And then the thing that I would say is too, is you can, like, this goes back to my presentation, is if you really get this going and these things are a good lead source for you, then you're the guy that wants to look at other cities and states and things like that. Like, you guys have probably seen Bill Stidham. He's a successful artist on our platform. He's in some of our marketing. He's been a customer for like 7 years. I mean, he started off in Austin, Texas, and he went everywhere. Like he went everywhere, and now he's got a gallery or two, physical gallery, and he doesn't really lug around to the shows anymore. I mean, he's in a place where a lot of people want to be in the future, because he did the work up front and he found his audience, and he built a massive email list of all these people. He's really good at doing that from day one. And so like his consistency with digital sales is really good. He still does shows. He still does some big shows, because it's like, if you want to keep growing, like you got to just keep dropping more leads down the top of the funnel. That's the way to do it.
Okay. So then maybe I'm gathering leads, then what I'm hearing you saying with emails, gathering my email leads, instead of giving the free print, do it as a discount right now in the booth, like anything on the walls you see right here, 25% off, something like that. Something like that.
Yeah. Like there may be a way to tie that into the giveaway, but I'd love to, like, you could tell people, like, when they walk in your booth, hey, I just want to let you guys know, if you sign up for my list, you actually get 25% off on anything in my booth today. And people will be like, oh, wow, okay. And the list is right. So they sign up and they're like, okay, I want to buy this. And you're like, perfect, right? So they're incentivized. They know that there's a deal right there on the spot, and you should have a sign there anyway saying that. And you'll have to weigh that with how many leads you normally get by just doing a giveaway, or maybe there's a way you can blend the two creatively.
But
for anybody that's having trouble closing anything on the spot, you got to do something like that just to like test it, right? And validate that, like, people aren't leaving and you're just losing the sale.
Yeah. Are you follow-up marketing regularly, Casey? Are you sending out an email a week or an email every 2 weeks?
I'm following up. I can't admit that I'm that regular. No. I am following up every month probably, but not every 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, now move from a month to every 2 weeks, right? Like,
okay.
It's just an issue of ROI. It's like the return on investment. Like, you're going to the show, you're loading up the car, you're setting up the prints, you're on your feet for 8 hours a day or whatever it is. You are going to see a way more significant ROI if the follow-up marketing's there, because no matter how good you are, no matter how good the discount is, no matter if you hit them with the follow-up playbook, some people are not going to be ready to buy, and maybe they're not going to be ready to buy until the Q4 the next year. Like, if you keep yourself top of mind and you get the machine spun up, and it sounds daunting when you haven't done it yet, right? But you just, it's one step at a time. You ratchet it up, ratchet it up. You go from sending one email a month, then you're sending them every 2 weeks, and then 6 months go by, and you're like, hey, that's not that hard. I can do it all the time. I looked at your work. I just was over on your website. It's beautiful. You've got some insanely beautiful shots, great colors. I would not be upset seeing your work come into my email box every 2 weeks. I'm just not going to be. It's good. So I don't think you have anything to worry about there.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Thanks for the question. Who's raising their hand next? Okay, I saw Emily and then I saw Debbie. Emily, we're going to do you first, and then we'll go to Debbie.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Emily, you're on.
Okay, cool. So I've developed a way of marketing to on Facebook that is really working for me.
Ooh, I love this.
But it doesn't translate to Instagram, and I don't know if that's just the nature of Instagram and Facebook. But like Facebook, I get like thousands of likes on stuff, and then I go to Instagram and it's like I get likes, but I don't get any buying. I don't get any. And my goal is like, I make a lot of money on doing commissions for people on a regular basis. I do digital art actually. So I can have a really fast turnaround. But the thing that is really like, I really want to be making more consistent money on the prints because I already created the artwork.
Right.
So, I want to be able to like, to leverage that. That's the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you and don't feel like you need to share your Facebook secret if you don't want to, although I'd love to hear
Not
it.
at all.
But
Fine.
Okay, good. Tell us what is it exactly that's working.
Okay. I can't see you though, Patrick. Like you're visually.
Yeah, your video's not on, Pat.
Oh yeah.
It's
okay.
on.
Thank you.
It's on. I just don't think I'm an admin or there's something. Oh no. I see. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Cool.
Sorry guys.
It just feels weird. I just like looking at a blank screen.
For
okay.
sure. Sorry.
No, not at all. So I discovered that if you I share to Facebook groups that are interests of the things that I paint.
Wonderful.
So I share to like sailing groups because I do a lot of seacoast artwork. I live on the East Coast in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, so I'm on the coast.
Yep.
And I actually I didn't even know what romance marketing was called, but that's what I did. So I went on those sites, and so they don't allow selling. So I was just like, okay. So I just shared, and I was like, just created this painting, love the coast, yada 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 bullshit,
Love it.
And sorry,
all good. All good.
Sailor. So it's so I've been doing that for a year and a half, and I started getting like flooding on my inbox, on my emails, and I noticed that every time I posted and it was like announcing there was a sale, nothing. But when I post and and specifically there's no mention of it, people have to find me, and they do. So, and I get like hundreds of hits on my website if I post to certain pages. So, or groups. So I post to groups, and I built up like on Facebook, I have like 6,200, followers or
nice.
Whatever.
Good count. Yeah.
Is great. Instagram, I have like 8,000, and I still get the sales from Facebook.
Yep.
And
yep. So
the only thing the thing that I think, and I would be interested to know, if you guys have thoughts on this, is that Facebook is older buyers. They're older people.
Yes.
Like everybody that's younger is on Instagram, and in my like, I know that people sell on Instagram, but the people that are sailing, that have boats and stuff, they're on Facebook, and so they're buying. And so, but I want to know if there's like another way I could be doing Instagram, because when you were talking about, it might just be a tweak in my thinking about my work, is that I want to be selling more prints. I sell prints. I sell but it's like one a week from my website, which is fine. But would I love to see several a day? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I know that, sorry, this is a longer question, but like, I have the bulk of my work is seacoast artwork, but I also do paintings of like fancy cars for people and stuff like that. And those people have money, and like, I don't know, I want to go to there. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I want to get there. And I don't know, I'm the Facebook groups that I've shared to for cars, it's not that great. They're not that engaged. So
when you're making the sales from Facebook, are you selling commissions?
I sell commissions and I sell prints.
Okay, and you sell prints. All right. And what percentage of your sales are commissions versus prints?
It's like half and half.
It's half and half. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
from a revenue standpoint, so like half your revenue is coming from one or is
no,
it
okay. So the majority, like 65 to 70%, let's say, is commissions,
okay.
From in terms of the revenue, because they cost more money.
Yes.
But yay, no problem with
Yeah.
that. But and then actually I am starting to get some clients that are that commission me to do something, and now they buy my work more regularly, like prints, which is great.
Awesome.
But I mean, to be greedy, I want more. Like I want to be, I'm making a living, but it's, like macaroni and cheese living. You know what I mean? Like how do I jump to the next level is what I'm trying to figure out. And I used to do shows in New York City. I used to do the Javits. I used to do all those things. And I did not find them to be helpful at all.
Yep.
So and I don't want to do shows. I hate them. So I'm glad that other people love them. That's awesome. But they to me they're never so.
Well, the thing is you found a channel that's working, you know what I mean? And so oftentimes when people are like, they're in your spot, well, they're not in your spot. They've tried everything online and they just can't get anything working. Then it's like, you got to get out in person. Right.
Right.
That's not the situation for you, but Pat, this is Instagram, Facebook is your wheelhouse. So go for it.
Yeah. Okay. I would start with, do you feel like you maximized the group opportunity, or have you hit that as hard as you possibly can, you think?
I have hit that really hard. Okay. I have but I'm sure that there are more ways that I haven't.
What about ads to those groups?
What's that?
What about ads to those groups, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, independent of the ads, like I always want to go to the ads last. So, and let me ask this too: Are you doing follow-up marketing? Are you sending out emails on a regular basis? Are you?
Okay, so now that I'm with you guys for about a month now, and now I'm doing follow-up emails on a regular basis. Okay. So I wasn't.
You weren't before. That. Okay. You weren't doing that before.
I wasn't.
So you're like the perfect person, like for what I was saying at the beginning of the presentation. Like you just got the jet fuel. If you follow that art marketing calendar all year, you're going to see a substantial improvement.
Okay.
But Pat, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I would say so. Facebook versus Instagram. Broadly speaking, what you were saying is absolutely correct. So are there more old people on Facebook, or are there more potentially high net worth people on Facebook? Yeah, there's an argument to be made there, but that doesn't mean there's not a significant amount of the other ones on Instagram too. But they're different. It's a different ballpark. It's a different game entirely. I would 100% do the exact same thing we're advocating, which is I would find the pages. And again, I walked through this whole thing tactically on the Facebook Live yesterday. It'll be in the notes. I want you to watch it. And I mentioned I mentioned the Facebook groups. You can skip that part because you got that wired. But on Instagram, you just need to find the pages that are sharing the subject material that you like. And yes, thankfully, sailing, high barrier to entry, i.e., your checks likely don't bounce. Right? You've got a high net worth bunch there. So I would commit, and I would say I am going to give away 10 prints. And you're going to find 10 of these pages, and you're probably going to have to find 50 of them, because 1 out of 5 or 2 out of 5 is going to say, yeah, I'll do it. And say, hey, I've been following your community. Here's who I am. Here's the work that I do. It fits right in with your audience. I know you're trying to make your Instagram page cool. Would you want to maybe auction off one of my prints, or give one away, or do a fun gift, and just give me a link back to my site, my Instagram account? That alone, I think, would probably crush it for you. And I mean, we can get you prints with these print discounts that we're running too. You don't have to send the highest end ones. Like, get the cheap ones and just blow it out. But everybody gets into that thinking like, ooh, I can do it once or twice and we'll see how it goes. No, commit to 10. Commit to 10.
Part of the problem is that I have been operating at the lowest overhead possible. I do, because I don't have the cash to put in, but and especially because I do digital artwork, it's much easier to be able to, have like a low overhead before when I was painting with oils and watercolors, that is not low overhead.
No.
So anyway, so all to say that I really haven't done print giveaways before I started working with you guys. So that's
very few people do, which is why it's got a great arbitrage to it.
Well, right, because it's it just feels like you're giving away money, but I have seen already that I got like 150 emails from the sign up and stuff like that. And so
beautiful.
yeah, I mean, it was like Christmas. I was so excited.
I mean, see, look, there, like that. So when Pat said, have you done really everything you can with those groups? Like, really think about that, because getting the moderator to share your next giveaway and compensating them to do that. I mean, you don't even
have to compensate them. You don't even have to compensate them.
Yeah, because they need content, right?
Yes, they just want to make their group happy. And all it is like, hey, you group moderator, you have attention? Can I rent it? I'm going to make you look cool.
Right.
Hook me up too. Deal? And you can either say yes or no. No, no big deal. There's 300 more of you. I'm going to go to the next one down the line, right? And you know, take it slow, but you know, for 30 or 40 bucks per print delivered, you can afford to take some shots. Take some shots and see what happens. My guess is if you're already selling one a week, I mean, you only have to do this 10 times and it's in the ROI will be there significantly. And then from there, you can go 10 to 50 to 150 very easily. There are so many accounts on Instagram that are sharing in your niche, you know, 50,000 followers and plus, that would be more than happy to start, you know, like, oh, wait, I can give a free print away. Like I share the same thing every single solitary day and I can actually do something cool here. And especially like, you know, you just make the relationship and you can go back to the well again and again. They'll love it. They'll love you for it. So you're in a great place. You do follow-up marketing. You start mixing in the print giveaways and don't conflate the two. The print giveaways, what we advocate versus what I'm advocating now, is a little bit different, right? You're approaching the group member, you're approaching the Instagram, you know, curator. You're saying like, hey, you can give this thing away, you know. So yeah, you just need to stay grinding. You're doing great already. If you're a month and a half in and you're selling a print a week, like you're going to be good.
Okay. Well, I was selling like maybe like 2 a month before I went with you guys, and now it's really more like it's like solidly 1 a week. And if I post on, like, also, by the way, just like fun-filled facts with groups, you know, if you figure out, I study the algorithms and like when you should post and what's the best time and really like played around with it. Saturday and Sunday morning, you cannot lose. Like you post it around 7:30 or 8 a.m., you're golden, and you go to like a group. So just, you know, FYI.
Yeah. I mean, I would like the way that I think about this too. And by the way, you're awesome. Like, I love the fact that you're like coming up with these hacky, creative ways and you figured that out. Like, this is like, Ben, if you're listening there, like this stuff is awesome, right? Like, this is exactly the way unconventional. Exactly. And,
necessity, right?
What's that?
Necessity, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But what my takeaway from, there's a couple of takeaways I have, and they're going to be somewhat, you know, incoherent, but number one is the abstraction of what you have successfully created here is that you are going online to some influential, you know, groups or areas where there are a lot of people congregating that are potentially qualified leads for you. Right. You're posting your work. You've figured out that you can't sell to them. You've got to romance them, right? And you've made that work. And so how can you amplify that even further, right? Like I was saying, like doing some giveaways or things like that, finding any other type of group. And the reason why I say that, like, you want to view that as the abstraction is because going over to Instagram, it's the same mindset. You're going to do the same thing over there when you follow Pat's strategy, right? And I immediately said, you know, you don't have to. I mean, I said, like, you could pay somebody, and Pat said, don't. And obviously people that are moderating these groups, oftentimes you don't have to pay these people. Yeah, but I know one of our Art Storefronts members who paid an Instagram influencer who, you know, just happened to have, like, they looked at their following and they saw what they were posting all the time and kind of following them for a little while and saw, like, wow, like this person is like pretty well respected for X subject matter, right? And so, you know, these people who have these followings typically don't even know how much value they have. And so she paid him like, hey, will you share, you know, my sale? I think this was during the fourth quarter or something. Will you share my sale with your audience, or however she did it? And she paid him like $75, and she sold 5 limited editions at like $1,250, $1,250 each. And the guy had no idea, right? And she's like, she told me that. She's like, he has no idea like how valuable this was. But you see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's using there's another digital audience. It might be on Instagram, it might be on, but that's what you figured out how to hack. Right. So think about how to take that to its fullest extent, because that's generating you sales. And also think about, how can I get the maximum number of leads from that? That's where the giveaway comes into play, because it's like, okay, I got this group, I've gotten some sales from it, but if I do a giveaway, I might be able to just make it rain leads, like all over the place, you know?
I was really surprised at how the giveaway went, honestly. Like, I just didn't, I was like, you know, people aren't going to really like go then, and people went insane. And so it was great. But the thing that you were saying about the, about different ways on Instagram. So I started like looking at influencers, and there was a couple of influencers that are local. And so I partnered with one. It didn't really produce much, but she has a following of like 25,000 or something like that. So I hope that it will, you know.
Yeah, those, what I would say is, like, you tried that and that audience was not qualified for your work. So it's like done with that person, right? You have to find the one, and you just try, and maybe you find some and maybe you don't, but get really creative with that, you know, to try to not just get sales, but get leads, right?
Yeah.
So the other thing too is that, and it's just because you mentioned it earlier, it's really important to understand, guys, like this for everybody, that acquiring leads and customer, like it for all businesses, it normally costs money to do that. There's this metric called customer acquisition cost, or CAC, right? And so when we're advising you guys to do a giveaway and all that, and you have the cost of that print, when you take the cost of that print, let's say it's like $25 or $30 or $35 or whatever. By the way, I always recommend to people who are afraid to invest in prints or don't have a lot of money to like focus on photo paper, because the photo papers are way cheaper, you know, so you can offer like a 24 by 36 big guy that, you know, has a nice price point, but it might only cost you like $25 or $30 off the top of my head. So it's not much. But if that's your cost, and then you take that and divide that by the number of leads that you got, that's your cost per lead, right? Or the number of customers you got. And when you take that, when you calculate that number, and then you compare that to any other marketing tactic, I guarantee, you know, or at least online, but I almost guarantee anywhere that, you know, that it'll probably be one of the most cheapest like lead acquisition or customer acquisition methods that you ever use. And if you have that at your disposal, you just have to do it, right? It's the same thing as like going to a show in person. If you pay X amount of dollars to go to the show and you generate 100 leads, then you can calculate your cost per lead. If you generated 10 customers, you can calculate your cost per customer. And so you guys as artists and photographers are just looking for a way to maximize, you know, the number of leads and sales that you can get for the cheapest cost at the end of the day. So I just want to like make sure you have the right mental mindset on that. So whether you're paying an influencer, you know, or a moderator or whatever, it's just like, hey, I'm making a bet that this, you know, this cost that I'm going to spend is going to yield, you know, a certain number of leads and customers. They're not all going to work, but like you gotta fire like 10 shots to find probably, you know, 3. Think of it like baseball. And people who don't know baseball, it's like if you get 3 base hits out of 10, you're in the Hall of Fame, right? So you strike out 7 times. But if you get 3 base hits for your whole career, you're literally in the Hall of Fame, right? And so that's similar to how marketing will work. A lot of these things might not work, but you got to take stabs at them. And hopefully you can come up with all sorts of different creative ways to do that.
Great questions, though, and I can't wait to follow up. You're on pace. Q4
yes,
is
you
gonna
are.
Be, woo! Q4 is going to be solid when we get there. Okay, I see Kimberly, I see Marie, but Debbie, we're going to grab you next. Let me unmute you here first.
Here we go.
Yep, now I've got you.
Hey, Debbie.
And I saw your dog down there. What kind of dog do you have?
I have a chocolate lab.
Chocolate lab. Nice.
Ah.
Yeah. It's going to be 7. His name is Guinness.
Guinness.
Oh, nice.
Good dog name.
Isn't it? Yeah. All right. Well, you guys probably know I've been with you about 4.5 years. I've got about 125 artists that that I basically represent. Mm-hmm. And that includes photographers, sculptors, jewelry artists, things like that. So,
and it's all prophetic art still, right?
Yeah. Yes.
The one brand message is still there.
The prophetic art is still there. you know, that's been something I've been struggling with. You know, do I keep that in there? You know, does that scare people away? I don't know. It's just different things like that that concern me. So I guess, you know, I'm listening to all the things that you're doing. I'm following everything. I've built up my email list to over 2,000 people now, 2,200 people. I've got probably over 15,000, 18,000 on all the social media combined. So I'm doing a lot of Facebook and Instagram. That seems to be where a lot of my customers come from. You know, I'm involved in some of the social groups you were talking about. There are social groups that I can get with that are prophetic, but what ends up happening is I get a lot of the artists, and you know, they're not going to be buying the artwork, so that's been difficult for me. So I, you know, and I've toyed with going to the wholesale shows, and that's probably going to be my next route, but can't afford to do that right now. You know, just trying to generate, you know, income revenue so that it will pay for us to go to those shows. I do know that that is something. I'm an interior designer. I'm not a painter. I'm not a photographer, but I know those shows well because I attended them for over 20 some odd years. So I'm very familiar with how they work and everything. So I think that's going to be a goal of mine. But right now, I need to generate the revenue so that I'm able to, you know, be able to do more things. But I just need to know, what can you tell me that would specifically help a gallery of my size, and what marketing strategies do you recommend? Obviously I'm doing what you're saying, but I feel like there's something more that I need to be doing as a large gallery online. We don't have a physical store yet. We hope that will happen down the road, but right now everything's strictly online.
Pat, do you want to take this or me?
Yeah, you can start. I'm getting your website right now. What's your website URL, W, just out of curiosity?
It's prophetics. It's the word prophetic with an S, prophetics gallery .com, excuse me. Propheticsgallery.com.
Got it.
I love your niche. I think it's really defined, you know, and that's usually a major problem that I have with gallery owners, you know, and I don't have that with you, because a lot of galleries are just a mishmash of different stuff, and there's no like overall message or like brand to the whole thing. So I actually think you're doing it right. So that is just, you know, I don't know the type of friction you might be coming up with the like the scaring people. I know what your art is about. I mean, I know what the brand is about. We've talked about this before, so I get it. But I think that, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to one thing, right? You got to generate leads, and you got to keep generating more of them. And you've done that. So let's talk about that. Where have you made that happen? Where are they coming from?
Again, most of what I'm getting is from Facebook, Instagram.
The giveaways and things like that?
Yeah, free stuff. I'm not doing a lot of ads. I'm not spending a fortune on it. I do from time to time. So that is basically where I'm getting most of my people from. I get a lot of organic traffic. I'm getting between 1,600 to 2,000 visits a month, but they're not converting. And I don't know what, I'm stuck.
Are you getting them? Are they converting to your email list?
Yes, I am getting a lot on, you know, they're going to my email list. I am sending out emails. I'm bumped it up to like 2 a week. Actually I'm taking some of the ones, I don't know what it is with email, because I'm sending them out, but out of the 2,000 people or 2,200 people that are in my system, they're not all opening. So I've found that I have to send it 2 and 3 times. And, you know, you run the risk of having people like, you know, wanting to be taken off the list because of too many emails in 1 week, but they're not opening as much as they should be. So then I go on, and I found the biggest thing that's been helping is I got the app for doing room settings and then plopping my artwork into it. And, you know, there's Art Space, I think there's Art Space, and there was another couple of other ones out there. So I use those, and that seems to be generating more interest because they're actually seeing it in room. I can sit there and hold the art, but the problem is with that, I got 120 artists. If I got to, you know, order all those pieces of art, it gets really expensive. So, you know, I'll do the giveaway. I did the giveaway. and I'm going to do another one. I'm waiting for the print to come in. And
did you do the January giveaway?
Yeah, got 80 people.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Had you ever ran one before?
No, that was
okay.
Time.
So like if you were doing that all last year and you had the compounding going all year long,
it would have been much better.
You might be in a completely different situation right now because they compound, right? Like, because we're getting these people to share it, you know, and to do these different things, and so that it amplifies and you get more and more of it. So that's already right off the bat going to help.
Right. Now, do I get in the picture with it? And, you know, I am the gallery owner. How does that all work? I mean, can still do that, but
I would say, you know, and I think I'm on your email list too. I think that, you know, you've got all the right, like you've got the angles to pull, like you got to romance people on your prophetic situation completely, because the people that really this is going to resonate with, they're going to want to be on your list, like straight up, you know, because
when we say people though, it's Christians, right?
Yeah, it's Christian. Just to explain for anybody watching, prophetic art is Christian artists that paint, do photography, do any creativity with the thought of, okay, God, what is it that you want me to do? Because there are people out there that need to have a touch of God, a touch of hope, a touch of help or encouragement or whatever. And so they come from that perspective of, you know, I'm going to pray about this. I'm going to figure out what God wants me to do. Some of them, it may be based on a scripture. Some of it may be based on, you know, a situation. We've had several that have lost a child or gone through cancer or had their house burned down, whatever. And that emotion is put into that artwork. And it's like praying through that and then telling people their story about how they got through that difficult time. I've been trying to get my artists for 4.5 years to get on a video so I can put them on the website. I have some that I already have embedded their story about the art and why they did what they did and maybe the tragedy that they went through. And a lot of things have happened because of that. You know, we haven't gotten a lot of interest with that particular piece. But honestly, I can't, it's like, well, you probably know, pulling teeth to sometimes get the artist to do what you want them to do. So, so now I'm thinking, should I go on, talk about what happened to this artist? Because I feel like I'm an imposer, you know, kind of going in and posing as the artist, but I have to tell the story.
You're the one who's put this whole thing together. You know, so I sort of imagine in my mind, you should have a video with you explaining it, you know, and then maybe you cut over to like 3 or 4 other artists and get their opinion on it. But I would like, as you were saying that, and I'm sure a lot of other people that were on this call, like, I mean, like you have it, Debbie, you have it, you should do it. And I went to your site and I instantly was like, what you just pitched right there, which was perfect. Am I getting that message when I'm on your site, you know? And you've got some text on there, you know, but like that message has got to get out there, because I think that message will really resonate with people that are deeply Christian, you know, have deep Christian values, and that's where the connection is going to be made, you know, and so get like a really nice, get a video done of that. Don't spend a lot of money on it. Get one done. You can spend money on it later when you have more money, right? But get one done, and
that's your Fiverr,
something like that. You can set up you could probably get somebody off Craigslist. Pat knows about this stuff more than I do. You can probably get somebody off Craigslist to come over, you know, maybe, you know, in a nice room or in a gallery or something like that, you know, like for an hour, like rent a space, you know, from a gallery, get some pieces on the wall and you talking there and looking professional, you know, but getting that message. But that message should be like, within seconds, I should be able, if I see something that interests me about you, or you send like a romance, you know, post out or a giveaway, like I should be able to understand that if I go to your Facebook page, if I go to your Instagram page, or if I go to your website. And it's like, now I'm hooked, right? I get what you're doing. And now every email you're sending and every message you're sending is seen by me through that lens, you know? But that's not gonna like change everything, right? Like at the end of the day, that's going to help you. You need to keep acquiring leads, you know? And I think if you're gathering what you have and you start doing all these giveaways and you follow what we're doing, it's going to grow. It's going to grow. It's definitely going to grow. That's 100% guaranteed. Okay. Now, if you want to step on the gas on all of that, then again, you should look at that list that we were talking about, because it doesn't matter whether they apply to, artists or photographers. Like, I mean, I said this in the last call, what people don't even understand. My other company, Breathe in Color, that I started 20 years ago, is a canvas, fine art paper, photography paper manufacturing company. And we're doing all the same tactics. And this company does tens of millions of dollars in revenue a year, right? You'd be like, why would you do that? It's because the right tactics, if you actually just look at the art marketing calendar, you can repurpose it to something else. Now, it might not be exact replication, right? But they do work, So if you look at that list of the ideas of how to generate leads that I was speaking with Ben about, and we will have this in the show notes, like you can take those different things and try different ones and see which ones you get some bites on, But ultimately, you want to find out wherever you're getting the most traction. And it sounds like, I mean, when you said I got 80 emails in my last giveaway, that's one, right? So you should do more of those and don't miss one, because we definitely don't want anybody missing one. If you look at the art marketing calendar, I mean, we're getting everybody right back into that, because it's just the easiest way to get a bunch of leads, for the cheapest cost. And so if that works for you, maybe up the ante a little bit. Like, what did you give away last time? Can you give away something that's a little better? Like, make sure if you didn't do all of the tactical perfectly, like really this time, like really do it. Like, do everything on there to just squeeze that thing. Because maybe you'll get 150, emails instead of 80. Right. You know what I mean?
I would go unconventional. I would say, like, okay, there's some good things here. You're targeting Christians. Okay, that's a tightly defined niche. I'm happy about that. And so there's some opportunities certainly for Facebook and Instagram ads. But independent of that, I would go unconventional in your case. I would start by spending the afternoon on Google, getting every single solitary Christian bookstore in the United States, cold calling them right out of the blue, saying who you are, saying, can I send you a catalog? Can I send you a link to my website? See how that goes. You could probably mow through all the Christian bookstores if you were ambitious in a week or 2 weeks. You have a lot of them in big churches. They sell nothing but Christian goods. I know. I go to church. I go to a mega church. The bookstore is ridiculous. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them to call. And definitely start with the mega churches. And there's a whole bunch of mega churches across the United States. And then you start going down from there. The really unconventional, though, where I would totally get started, is the Christians that will really buy this stuff, that will really resonate with this, are older and they love buying Christian stuff. And so the way that Christian radio actually works is there's one big broadcasting company called Salem, and they own essentially all the Christian radio stations in the United States. And each individual ministry that goes on there, the way that they support the show, if they don't have like a wealthy independent donor, I know this all because one of my best friend's dad is a pastor of a mega church, like been my second dad growing up, had a radio show for a while. The ministry goes on, and they say, to support this ministry, please make a gift of da-da-da-da-da. If you do that, you'll get whatever the resource is. Sometimes it's a DVD, sometimes it's a CD, a study guide, a Bible study, a devotional, whatever it might be. You start inserting yourself into those situations, and I would start with some of the best pastors that you have nationwide and say, hey, I've got this incredible gallery of Christian artists, and here's the work. You can take a look at it. I know you've got to do your premiums for a radio show. We would love to get the word out. Is that something that we could do? I would start with Rick Warren. Rick Warren's got a big radio show. They're doing premiums all the time. There's a number of other guys. I would just go to Salem, see what the list of the radio stations are. Definitely do not contact Salem directly, because that's the last thing you want to do for reasons. Get to the individual show owners. And it's always one person that's like a volunteer or above that's running that entire show. And I would just start sending emails, and I would fire off a lot of them. And there's a lot of Christian radio stations that you could go to. And I would attack that way. It's totally unconventional. It's under the radar. And I think probably very easily, some markets are big, some markets are less so, but you could get probably a ton of mentions and a ton of eyeballs back. And the story piece is critical. The story piece is critical. That art is never going to sell as well as if it has a story and hits those pain points. So I would definitely double down on the stories too.
Okay. You said Salem. What is that again?
Salem is kind of like I don't know if you know the nature of like the radio station game, but like let's say Clear Channel owns all the radio stations in the United States, or iHeart Media, I think, bought Clear Channel or whatever. So the way that radio stations work is they used to be independent. They're not independent now. It's like one big company that owns them all. And so Salem is the one that owns all of the Christian radio stations across the United States.
Okay.
Yeah. So one quick Google, and there'll be a list, and then find your individual targets and start taking some shots. Just start taking some shots and see what works. If the Christian bookstore thing get you some gigs, because the Christian bookstore thing, like, hey, okay, let me see the catalog. Yeah, we do want to start selling some wall art. Let me see what we can get in there, right? Like you'll open it up a couple of things and it'll go slow. Maybe the radio station, but whatever pans out, just try some unconventional stuff. And no one that's not Christian is going to buy any of that art, right? Like it's Christian. I mean, which is not to say some of it's not nice. Of course it is, but the angle is prophetic. So attack Christians. And I would do that way before I would try Facebook ads, going after Christians. Attacking is the wrong word, but I'm a marketer, say these things sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many ways you can go with this. I mean, because you've got such a defined niche, like there's a million things that you could do. Like Pat and I, we would have a field day on this.
Okay.
Total field day. I mean, when you got a defined niche, like I hope you were listening when we were talking to Emily, like you could go to these groups. And I think this applies to everybody in general. And I don't mean to be harping on the giveaways so much, but if you have a giveaway that works, like look on your next time around on this next giveaway, you guys, look to get that giveaway shared in these other groups on Facebook, like please. And on Instagram, if you can get somebody to do that, like look to really expand that, because if it works, like, that's something that you go, okay, how can I pour gasoline on this? You know what I mean? So, but anywhere that you have these people congregating that are really committed, like really committed Christians, then you want to, and you look at it and you go, there's like there could be somebody that's sending out like that does like posts every day on Instagram that are really inspirational, deep Christian, and only people who are really committed seem to follow him or her. Like that's somebody you might want to target. No different than the bookstore, right? So like understand the abstraction that Pat's talking about here is like, yes, bookstores, like every one of these things is just contacting where groups of people might actually be, and if you cold call those people or cold email them, if you're gonna email like 20 or 30 of them, don't use MailChimp or anything like that. Write like a personal email to them in your personal email client and say something about their store, so it doesn't look like it's just like some massing, like, hey, I saw you do X, Y, and Z. And so I thought you might, I wanted to talk to you specifically, because people can smell this stuff from a mile away.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Very good.
I think you're on the right path, Debbie. I really do. I mean, it might not be going as fast as you want it to, but the fact that things are working and your list is growing and all that, like you're finding your way, and you're going to have a pretty good year.
Yeah. Oh, I hope so. Praise God.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. Take care of that dog.
Thanks, Debbie.
Okay. Kimberly, I'm going to do you next. Marie, I'm going to do you. Because I think your hand was first. I'm going to unmute you now. Marie, can you hear us? Or can we hear you, I guess?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got
Yes.
you. How you doing, Marie?
Hi, Marie.
All right. I'm a little nervous, but well.
That's okay. Go for it.
So I guess on one of your last things that you had live, I had a question in, but then it kind of got cut off because there were some technical difficulties going on.
Always.
So anyway, I've been listening all along now, and a lot of the answer to my question goes back to keep following up with your marketing and all that stuff. And I totally get that. But I'll just kind of, I don't know if you guys remember my question or not, but I can just kind of repeat.
Which one? You've had a few, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So it's about art shows, and I go to the art shows, bust my, sweat my buns off, do all the things you got to do to be at an art show. And then I get the leads. I get tons. If I could have $1 for every person who says, "Oh, I love your work. It's so beautiful. I'm totally going to have you do a portrait of my dog. Give me your card. I want your card. Give me a couple of cards, or I'll give you my email. I'll give you my phone number, blah, blah, blah." I get that far. and I get the names and the leads and stuff. And then I get a few sales out of it, and then the rest kind of fizzle out. But in your defense or whoever's defense, I didn't know this whole marketing playbook back then. This was back in 2018 that I did the Gold Coast Art Fair, and I got like 200 contacts, and I got about, I don't know, over that year, maybe $2,000 in sales from that event. But to me, that's not very much money because it cost me an arm and a leg to do that event. So, I mean, I probably spent more than $2,000 just doing the event because it was one of my first big ones I'd ever done. Because I figured if I can survive this event, I can do any art show, because it was in Chicago downtown. And anyway, so what my question is aside from I do the fishbowl thing, I try to do all the things that you say in acquiring the leads, and I'm trying to do the new techniques online and stuff. But once I get a hot lead, as in somebody says, yes, I want to have you do this, blah, 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 blah. How many times can I contact them, and how frequently before I don't want to get this beautiful lead and then just strangle it and
okay,
kill
so you're
it.
asking like, how do you close it?
Yes.
Okay. So let's walk through a typical scenario. Somebody, like, take us through one. Somebody emails you and says what?
No, usually it's at a show.
Oh, it's at a show.
Shows, at the events. They're like, okay, yeah, I want to have you do this. And then I get their contact information. And then what?
Okay. So you're talking about these people that disappear after the show?
Yeah, are they really actually interested, or are they full of crap?
Well, there's ways to put that to the test. I'll tell you in a second. So have you, just so I have all the information, have you contacted them after the fact? Like, have you ever called them, or you just shoot them an email like a couple days after the show?
Okay, with the Gold Coast Art Fair, I entered every single one of their, this was within 2 days after the show. I came home, I entered all their email info into my database, sent them the first newsletter, but I don't know if half of them even got it, because I don't know if it went into their spam folder or if they gave me a fake email. I didn't get a ton of response, but I got one client out of that right off the bat, and she's been a great client ever since. She's probably spent over $1,000 with me, just this one woman.
Well, that's awesome. So this, okay, hold on. So from that show, you said, did you say 200?
Yeah,
contacts?
200. And then from that show, then I got about maybe 10 or 15 sales after, over the course of a year.
Okay.
But then since then, nothing from any of those other people.
Okay. So, and then, but those people that were signing up for your list, were some of them, it sounded like some of them you were saying might have wanted a commission, but other ones were signing up, were they all signing up for the same reason?
Yeah, they were signing up I have a brochure that has a perforated thing on it, so that I can, if they want to give me their contact info, I can tear this little thing off and I can write down their email and their phone number and stuff. And if they sign up, they would get 10% off their first order. And then I had it time sensitive, so it would hopefully get them to check their emails and all that stuff. But a lot of those just fizzled out. So I don't know if I did something wrong. I didn't do the whole, email twice a month or whatever. I did it maybe once a month, if that,
right. So
right out of the gate from that.
I still have some more questions. So were you giving them so were they signing up to do a commission with you? Is that what it potentially was, or to buy a print on your site?
Not all of them were, no. But they were all interested in having commission work done, and maybe possibly wanted more information. So I would say, well, if you're not ready to do anything today, you can, if you subscribe to my newsletter, you can get 10% off your first order if you make
Okay.
a decision by such and such a date.
That's potentially the problem right there. Okay. So when you're at a show, when you're in person, you got to give them a reason to, like, a good reason to buy right there. Right. So even if they put down a deposit for a commission, I would be closing people on deposits if it's a commission scenario. Like, hey, if you if you buy a commission today, they cost, I don't know, let's just say $1,000, right? I have a deal going today where, you know, it's 25% off. And what I need you to do is just put down $100 deposit. And you know, and you can decide what the content is later. You can send me a picture or however you do it, right? But you gotta close the deal on the spot. You got to try to close it on the spot as much as possible. There's a rule. There's this old rule in retail. This is like a story I tell a lot, but I'm going to tell it again. You notice how whenever you go into a clothing store, especially like the big department stores, like a Macy's or Nordstrom or any place like that, or any like retail store that's pretty well put together, they always send a sales rep right out at you, like, you know, hey, can I help you with anything, right? And they'll walk away. It's not a big deal, but there's this rule in retail that, like, I forget what the number is, but it's like 98 or 99% of the people who leave will never come back, you know? And so, number one, you don't ever want to give them your card. You want to get their information, which you did, right? So you're getting their email. A lot of other people make that mistake, though. I hear it all the time. Like, I'm passing out my business cards at a show, but nothing ever happens. That's never going to work.
Yeah, get the phone number.
Get the phone number, get their email. You got to get their information, and then you got to start romancing them after the fact. But the point is that in retail, they send a rep after you, after everyone, because they know that, you know, the number one priority is, what is that person here for? Let me get them to that exact spot in the store where those jackets are. You know what I mean? They don't want that person to leave. They got to make sure that every single person that comes in, they've got the right opportunity to get that sale. So when you're doing stuff in person, you got to always be careful about what you're giving away, what you're handing out, and are you leading these people out the door, or are you getting them to do something on the spot? That's where I'm like, I don't want to give people I don't ever want to give somebody a discount to buy from my site later, ever. I mean, the only situation that I would do that, the only situation I would ever do that is if, like, you know, and I just wouldn't do it in general. I just wouldn't do it. I'm just going to say that I wouldn't do it. I've got a lot of experience doing trade shows, and I've had sales reps working for me, and we've had some of the, like, I've had some interesting discoveries in this whole process, but little things like even having like a little giveaway, like we used to have these, we used to print out these nice, like, marketing material, like flyers front and back, right? So it's because everybody was like, we need something to give away at the show. We need something to give away at the show. And so we'd have these things, and I'd start observing my whole team, you know, working the floor at these shows. And then you see that, you know, when there's something right there, or the rep is handing it to them, the person immediately, like, walks away.
Yes, they just leave.
They just leave. And so I said, this is done. We're not giving out anything. And what happens? They stay. And my reps were doing a much better job at closing sales on the spot. So you're like, it's funny when you go to actual industry trade shows, they give you a bag oftentimes when you walk in, you know, and then people are just walking around and they're just putting stuff in their bag.
Yeah, it's like trick or treat.
Like trick or treat. Exactly. That's exactly how it works. And so I'm like, we're not going to do that. And if somebody wants something, you know, they can take my business card, like they can take the sales rep's business card, but the sales rep is not trying to hand out his business cards. He's giving me your business card, right? And I'm going to write on the back of that business card, if you're a qualified lead. Like my guys, I'll tell you guys a funny story, but when we did trade shows years back, it was a great channel for us at Breathing Color in our early days. This was my canvas and paper company. And we used to write down whatever printer or printers those people had on the back of the cards, so that we knew who the most qualified people were. Because some people, we generate so many leads, we didn't know who to follow up with, but there were certain people on there that we were going to call, you know what I mean? And like we were going to start a relationship with. anyways, not to get too deep on that, but be very careful about what you're handing out, because people tend to take that thing and they go, okay, see you later, you know, and you don't want that to happen. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah. So like, here's an example. Let's see. Here's one of my cards. Dolores wants a 16 by 40 oil, 2 dogs and a cat painting, roughly $750. I write notes down on these cards.
Gosh. I like what I want that to be is an invoice with a 10% or 20% deposit.
Have I ever heard back from her? No.
No, you got it. Like, that's how it
so
works.
many of these.
I mean, I've been at, like, this is really good to know. When I've been at art fairs with my wife, and we go to one booth and we really like this stuff, and we're just like, oh, you know what? We don't want to like lug it around for the rest of the show, but we'll come back and we'll get it at the end. And guess what happens?
You don't.
We go to another booth and we end up liking something else, and we end up buying that because it just happened to be like at the end. And we totally forgot about the other person. We've had food, our kids are all over us, you know, and you have to understand, like, this psychology is going on. Like, that person could have got our business if they closed us on the spot. If they were like, hey, I see you guys love this. Did you know we have a 25% off? And we'll drop ship it right to your house. You don't even have to, and it's free shipping, you know, like, that's why those tactics are really good, because for the people that are walking around, they don't want to lug stuff around, but you got to use all of those tactics at your disposal and see if they work, because you may hit something. Bill Stidham, again, I'm bringing him up again, but it's on the top of my head. He does free shipping. He did free shipping all along at every single in-person show that he did. And he said it was a huge deal because people you could just close them right on the spot. Like, hey, you don't need to walk around with this. I'll ship it right to your doorstep. Just buy it right now and you get 20% off. It's like, okay, like, they don't have any reason to object unless they really aren't going to buy, you know? So those commissions or those things, you got to get a deposit on the spot. Otherwise, it's just not real, you know?
So, okay. That being said, my question still comes back to, there's a lot of really stubborn people out there, and they're like, they do not want to give you any information right away. They take your card, or maybe they'll give you their email, but they're not ready to commit because they don't know you.
Yeah.
You know, if it's your first show, they don't want to just give you $100 or even $50 for a deposit. They don't know if you're going to follow through. So the reason why this comes up to me is because I'm looking at Subarus. Like, I need a new car because my van is falling apart. We went to the Subaru dealership the other day, and this really nice woman, she was our car dealer lady. She said, or we said, can we test drive this Ascent or whatever? And she's like, well, you can, but I'm going to let you in on something. If you do a test drive, you have to give me your email and your driver's license and blah, 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 blah. And I am required to call you every single day for 7 days, and then every other day for 14 days. And then it's like for a period of like 6 months, I am not going to leave you alone. Are you ready to deal with that? And I was like, that's really interesting information. So my question is, how does that compare to the art world? Like, what's the frequency for, if you got a hot lead, somebody who's like really interested but doesn't want to make a down payment, doesn't want to pull the trigger at the show? What
I think you give them one last chance, like, you know, like a couple of days after the show, quick though, like 2 or 3 days, like, hey, I saw you, and you write them a personal email. Like, hey, Mike, hey, Janet, you know, like, I'm just following up on this because I want to give you a last chance at like, you know, my show special, which was 25% off while you were there, you know, because that's what you can do, is you can extend it to them after the fact, and then try to close it right there. If they don't take that, they're not buying.
Okay.
Or they're not buying now, right? Like, you've given them every reason to buy.
Yeah.
And I don't think you have to, I mean, you could then make, you know, then they're kind of on your, like, your long-term email list, you know what I mean? And then you might make that offer again at another time, like maybe around the holidays, where you're like giving it, you know, hey, commissions are this, who wants one? get your, buy it right here, like, with a link to your website or whatever it is,
So I'm doing it right. I don't need to like keep hounding these
No,
people because I never did in the first place. I mean, I sent them an email right away, right after that show, and they're still on my long list.
Just make sure you've got a good offer right there on the spot and that it's ending. I mean, you said you had scarcity, but number one thing is, I mean, if you can get a deposit, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
they really matter. They really, even if it's $50, like there's something to that. It really matters. I mean, $20. I mean, like try anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would try to get, depending on what the cost is, like 10% down. But like then they're committed. And there's just a different, like there's a psychology to it where you kind of move them down the funnel and they're really in on it. But that's how you really qualify whether they're serious or not.
Okay. Well, and some people from that show, I had one other client who we never even took his contact information. He just took a card from one of my friends who was working the booth with me. He contacted me like 3 or 4 months later and ordered $1,000 worth of custom stuff.
Awesome.
So
I mean, like that tells you right there, though, that like you did like whatever show you did, and like there's leads there that are bringing in business, like revenue to your business in various ways. Like get as much as you can from it. I'm wondering if you actually like were really closing people on the spot, what you would have done.
I know I'm kicking myself now, looking back.
No. This is all, these are all learning experiences, and you'll get better and better and better at it over time. But what that means is that it opens up these shows for you, as a potential growth channel, right? And like I said, you're looking for those faucets of qualified leads to come in. The easiest way to know where your leads are is where you're making sales, right? So you just try to get as many leads as you can in addition to your sales, and try to close as many as you can on the spot, and then get them into the Art Storefronts art marketing calendar. Follow that. And I mean, we're making it as simple as possible for you guys to just make sure you're doing all of this follow-up marketing. And the follow-up marketing will work over time.
Okay.
Great questions,
right.
though.
Good questions.
Okay, Kimberly, you're up. I'm going to unmute you. And Stephanie's been making some great contributions in the chat, so got to give her a shout out.
Yeah, thank you, Stephanie. I've noticed that too. Yeah. Marie, if you didn't notice, she said there, I have a sign in my booth that says, "We can hold your art for you till the end of the show." That's another tactic.
Okay, Kimberly, you're up.
Hey, I just had a quick follow-up question from last week.
Okay.
We were talking about my online audience being a tiny bit inert and to tighten up the targeting. Well, I did a lot of research and I learned a lot this week, but I'm not quite sure if what I'm doing is the right thing. I found out that my ads, 70% of the people that interact with my ads are in the UK and 30% are in the US. And I thought, wow, that can't be right. So I made an ad, and I made 2 ads, actually, exactly the same, and sent one to a UK audience and the other one to a US audience. And the UK audience got 12% contact conversion rate.
Ooh.
And the US audience got like 0. And
whoa.
I'm kind of shocked, and I'm not quite sure what to do with it. And then I don't even know, is that like a viable business model? Like just, sending stuff to the UK? I don't know. I'm not sure what to do with this info, but I tried researching.
Well, the answer is just in general, yes. I mean, it's just like, again, like listen to the market, right? Okay. And there, I don't know what went on there. I mean, Pat, do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, I don't know. That is a bit of a head scratcher. I mean, have you consistently got sales from people in the UK?
I've sold some originals.
Mm-hmm.
I've sold I sold some stuff to Norway and to the UK, but probably about 50% of the things I've sold have been here in the US, but like either California or the Northeast.
Right.
That's fascinating.
And
you may have stumbled across something. I mean, the fact that they were converting, onto your lead capture and you were offering a discount, like the standard best practice, I presume.
Yeah. Just because the ad, it was just a carousel ad that said bestsellers. And so it didn't make any offers in there. They just clicked through from the ad to the website. And then in the analytics, it said, what the conversions were, like how many email signups, and can't remember what the other conversions were. I think look at product page.
Yep.
And stuff. And the US ad didn't do anything. And so I know that, sending things to other countries, there's like custom fees and things like that. So I'm not sure.
I would just continue to like dip your toe in like you just did. Like just keep taking small steps.
Okay.
Like validating that channel. That's what I would do. Like, okay, we got some interesting bites here in the UK. Like, is this really valid? What could you do with that? Like, maybe contact one-on-one all the people that signed up on your email list from the UK. You can see the country that they're from in the detective. And just, send them one of those, like, just like, it's just the artist connecting with their subscribers, right? Hey, so glad you joined. I noticed you're from the UK, beautiful country, What made you, interested, have you been to Italy? You spent a lot of time in Italy or whatever it is. And just see what happens, and another thing is like, you also can cut and paste like their email address into Google. This is an interesting hack. Oftentimes it'll pull up the person's like Facebook or Instagram page. Yeah. And you can just kind of see, do they look like qualified people as well? So you're just kind of trying to smell test it to make sure like, okay, is this legit? And if it is, and then, hopefully you'll have some conversations with them, and then maybe you can even close a deal. Like sometimes I look at those situations and I'm like, you know what? I don't really care about even making money on these, first few people or making less money. I just want to know if there's something going on here, because this is really interesting. Right. And so you might do something for them that you wouldn't do for anybody else, just to see, because you might be like, hey, I'm really new in the UK market. What you don't know is I just started getting my name out there. And for my first 5 clients, I'm going to offer like a 2-for-1, or something like that. And just see if any of the 10 people or 50 people, however many it is, actually go, okay, I'm in. Because then you're like, okay, wait a minute. I just did an advertisement, brought in an email, and just closed a deal. Right. So now you've kind of proven that channel is working. And then you just take it a little step up and see if you can do it again and again. But that's usually the way that I approach new channels, especially if they're a little riskier and you're a little suspicious of it, maybe, or maybe there's some complications. It's just baby step it. Just keep taking it a step further, and don't bet the farm on it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank
You're
you
welcome.
so much.
No problem.
Pat, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's super curious. I love the the hand-to-hand combat always, which is just
Me too.
isolate 10 of them, write 10 of them an email. Hey, I've been getting a ton of traffic from the UK lately. I'm just curious, can I ask how you discovered me? And don't say anything else. Don't say anything else. Because what you might find is 15 people write you back and you're like, oh, your art was featured in such and such. And I got a link and I joined. And then you're like, okay, let me go find such and such and get them to do it again and again. Because sometimes things like that pop up.
I mean, let's just talk about this for a second, Pat. If it were you and me, like literally, if I were you guys, if I were any of you guys, I would literally do that to every single person that signs up on my email list. Every single person, the day that they do it. like a couple of hours later, I would send them a personal email. I'd have something queued up that I just copy and paste, but I would just change their name and like, but I would want to know exactly like where they came from, like why they like my work, what is it, in order to understand like, you know, who my audience is, who really likes my work, because that's going to tell you, that's going to help you hone in on who you need to target and where. Like, you'll know what I mean when you do it, because you're going to get people responding to you. I've told a lot of people to do this and they get responses all the time, and they're awesome. They're awesome. There's no better way to learn about your audience than to do that.
Also, that reminds me, I can't remember who posted it in the group, but great hand-to-hand combat, the Instagram story. He's been writing back, direct messaging, writing back everyone that follows him on Instagram and just saying, hey, really appreciate the follow. If you want to join my newsletter, I share my best stuff on my newsletter. Specials, constant new content. It's totally exclusive. If you want to join, here's a link. And he says he's been getting a ton of email signups just by going in hand to hand and doing that. So I love these unconventional ways where, where you're doing the legwork. But great questions, and keep us posted if something interesting comes out of the UK connection. I think it's really fascinating. For everyone left, okay, Beck, I know you've got a question, and I can see your video there. Anyone else, raise a hand, or I think pretty much all of you guys. Mary, I see you there. If you've got a question, you can let us know. Otherwise, Beck, if you're ready, I'm going to pull you in. Hold on, let me find out where you are on this list. Beck wrote a question about originals on Facebook. All right, Beck, you should be unmuted if you're good to go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. Okay, well, I wrote it out, which is always better than me trying to figure out what the hell my question was. But it comes down to, I haven't bought into selling originals on Art Storefronts. I've been doing pretty well, starting in October last year, selling originals, doing shows. And so I did sell one original online, but someone used the coupon to buy it. And so when we talk about having, valuing our art, I just think, I feel like it devalues art to offer a coupon, originals, that is, So here I am trying to put a value on my art, and then I offer like a 30% coupon or 20 or 25 or whatever. You don't go to galleries and bring a coupon in. So it just feels like it kind of cheapens it to me. And then also the fee that goes to Art Storefronts, I really wanted to understand that. And I did a lot of research, and I saw that, Nick, you had posted as to why those fees, what they assist with, and they help to support your ability to support us, right? It pays your income. So, but I still have a hard time because I've got to pay the shipping. Then there's a fee for Art Storefronts. Then there's a Stripe fee. And then sometimes there's a fee to the host, because I'd love to use my site to have people direct buy even at a gallery, right? And I still have to pay them 15% or 20%. So I'm just having a really hard time into buying or selling originals online. And I notice that other people are too, because I've seen people say, I avoid directing people to my site. I try and get people to buy from me directly, which, I don't want to do. It makes it a little difficult, but I just
I don't know why anyone would do that. I think that's very short-sighted, and let's talk about it. So there's a couple, you asked a couple of different questions there. You can remind me of what they were, but the one that was sticking out was, the discounting, the coupon. Let me tell you this, okay? If anybody is under the impression that high net worth individuals are going to galleries and are not negotiating, you are crazy. That's just like the craziest thing ever. That's
exactly where I was going, by the way. And
look, you guys, I'm not going to go into what my income is or whatever from, you guys know I'm an entrepreneur and I have companies and things like that. I negotiate everything, every single thing. And there's books written on this. Like, people always want to feel like they won the deal. You know what I mean? But like, all it is a marketing tactic. And what you want to do, Beck, is use it. Like, don't like hide from it. Like, you're not hiding from it, but like, don't look at it as a negative. Use it as like, get on top of it. Use it as a tool to like, like for your cause, right? So if there is a certain price that you want to get, and you've got like a $8,000 original, like it's not going to matter if it's 8,000 or it's 10,000, right? So price it at 10,000, and then just know that you might give 20% off. You might not sometimes. Somebody might just go ahead and buy it. And that happens all the time. A ton of original artwork sells on Art Storefronts websites all the time. Tons. I don't mean like one here or there. I mean tons for high dollar
range.
What's that?
In that high range also? Like
yeah, I mean, there was one that was just like a week ago that was $20,000. And it's sold for no. And it's sold with the lead capture discount in 3 days.
Independent of that, I love this question so much, and I want to tell one story and then an art story. And the story before was I used to earlier in my career rent houses a bunch, like property management status, and I would always price the thing higher. Than I really wanted to get, and I would take really good photos, and I was good at that, and so I would list it at this higher price, and because the photos are so good, people would still come in. And I would know invariably that everyone would want to negotiate, and everyone would have some sort of sticking point, and then you just sort of have this thing in your back pocket, right? You have the fact that, okay, I'm going to price this thing at $15,000, but really I only want 10. And you have it in your back pocket to know that whatever the case may be, you have the ability to negotiate or come down. I really, you know what? I just don't like the color of paint in this room. I'll tell you what. What if I came down $2,500? Would you get the deal done today? And it works so fantastically well. I got so many deals done renting houses that way. I would say just recently, one of the things that we wanted to create was a gallery show playbook. And so we worked with this artist that's on our platform, Matthew Locke. And I got to be involved early on in the process of putting the webpage together. I'm going to release this podcast, and so it's going to come soon. And he sold, I think, he's up to like 95,000 Canadian that he sold during this show. So it was a pretty successful show. They were really big pieces, but he's been at it for a while. He's established. A lot of the pieces he sold to his collectors directly, so the ones that he had a relationship with. A number of the other pieces were in the gallery, and the gallery sold. Every single solitary one got negotiated. Every single solitary piece. The high net worth rich people got that way by beating people up on price across the board all the time. So I get the discounting part, but the discounting, like there's like a value association with that. You have to decouple yourself from that and say, hey, you know, if this is going to be what it's going to take to sell the original, then I might as well go with it. Now I understand the circumstance of lead capture on the site and, you know, take the coupon, and the coupon that feels a little cheesy. I totally get that, right? I totally get that. You could just as easily put on the thing, does not apply to originals on the lead capture. Okay. Prints only. Discount applies to prints only. Email me for details. Because really in every one of those originals, that's hand-to-hand combat type of sale, especially for those high dollar amounts, right? And so keep the prices high, get the conversation open, and then negotiate. And I would price every single solitary one with that extra padding in there. I mean, it's art. It's you know, a beauty in the eye of the beholder, right? Like no one knows what you should be charging. No one knows what your prices should be. Raise them even higher and be willing to come down to get the deal done. I mean, I think so. In Matthew Locke's case, he had this one piece, this huge. I mean, he for whatever reason on this show, he did like giant canvases, and it was Auguste Rodin and Camille Claudel, and I looked at it and it was like the signature piece to the thing, and he had it priced at 20, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You cannot price this thing at 20. It's the signature piece in the whole show. Price it for 30, price it for 28. He did, sold for 22. Sold for 22. Right. The guy came in, he's like, he's like, this Canadian dollars, not US, but it's almost the same. But he's like, there's no way I'm paying, I think he told the guy, there's no way I'm paying 28 or whatever the number was, but I'll give you 22. And, you know, she haggled a little, fine. You know, you're a great buyer. I'll give it to you. So I think that game is played in originals, and it's only even more significantly played the higher the dollar amounts go up. The higher it goes up, the more you get whacked. And these high net worth types that buy this art, they have a knack for knowing this thing's been sitting in here for a little long. It's been on that wall for a little long. I am going to come in and steal it. And they have a number in their head. And if they can get it, boom, they get it. But if you don't price yourself high originally, you have no room to work. You got nowhere to go. So that's what I would do. In terms of, you know, selling them on your site or selling originals, we want you to win any which way you can get it. Any which way you can get it. So if you find that, you know, you are doing best selling your originals offline, you're doing your best selling your originals in person, we love that. Double down on that. If that's what's working, go all in on that. Have the website to back you up. But by all means, if you're making all of your money right now on originals, do not feel like you need to spend all this extra time working on your print business. Double down, triple down on the originals if that's the best way to selling them. And what did you say? You said you're selling them by going to shows. Is that the main
Yeah, I've gained a following, and it's not in my emails, but locally, I live in Boise. It's a pretty small town.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm on the board for local shows, local community group. So people have been kind of finding out. I was in a magazine, like a free magazine in town, and so some people found me through that. And they said, "Could I come see your gallery?" And I thought, well, I don't have one, so I revamped the whole house. I hung all my art up. My husband was out of town, took all the pictures down, put mine up. And so they came and I'm like, here's my gallery. And it was great. And I think I sold like 6,000 in December, you know, but I'm selling it like, I'm starting to sell at about 2,000, 2,500, but I'm painting really big, 48 by 60, like big. And I think maybe what I need to get over is I'm cool selling it for like 2,500 right now, but I got to get over and just price it more online. You know, I just feel odd having it such a high price online, and then locally people have been buying it for less. So I need to get over that.
Do you know how you get over that?
Well, I said a painting. Oh, go ahead.
Take some portion of your work and price it in the comfortable zone, and then take a deep breath and price some of your work in the absolutely obnoxious zone. And you know what you find out? There's a psychological technique called price anchoring. When they see that super high-end price on that one piece, you don't even want to sell that piece, but you're going to put a super high-end price on that piece just so that they feel better about spending that lower-end amount of money. And that totally works. That totally works. I mean, this is embarrassing. I used to have a mattress business, okay, 1 year out of college. And the way that it would work is I would line all the mattresses up, most expensive to the very cheapest on the end. And I would advertise the cheapest one to get them in the door. You would have to walk by all of those really nice ones. The most expensive, so thick. I mean, the thing was like, I can't even begin to tell you how tall it was. Double, triple, pillow top, whatever. You would walk all the way down to the end. You're like, I'm not buying that cheap one. And then you would start stepping up. And you're like, I like that one. I like that one. I kind of like that one. What is that one down there? I don't even want to know what that is because I know I can't afford it. I mean, that thing's like $30,000 on the end. I think that's ridiculous. What is that? And then all of a sudden you feel way better about being in that other price point. So grab a couple 2-3-year pieces. They might even be your most favorite and price them out obnoxious, 40%, 50% higher than you thought. And then you're going to have this little sweet spot in between for the rest of your stuff.
Because they cost about $500 to send. I mean, I had to send one to California. It was $500. And it's like, okay. And I learned that lesson, you know.
Yeah, that buyer's got to pay shipping. Or raise the price $1,000, and when they're on the line, it's $500 to ship it. I'll tell you what though, if you buy it today, I'll cover the shipping. No worries.
Well, I think I need to find that customer that's willing to pay that much. I mean, I'm finding.
I'm telling you, it's artificial. That those price points. And by the way, so easy for me to say. These aren't my babies. I didn't create these things. I didn't slave and labor. It's very easy for me to say price them. Like for you, it's hard. Any artist that creates it, it's hard. I get it. But you haven't tried. Until you go and try, you'll be surprised. Because some people, they are looking for the prestige. They don't want a cheap price point. I want to feel good. There's a reason that I have the convertible Camaro outside, because when I drive around, I want to feel like the big dog. I want people to look at me and see how special I am. It's the same way with art sometimes. Like I'm coming in $2,500. Like, are you kidding me? You know how much money I made last month? There's no way I'm buying something for $2,500. Give me the prestige. So you gotta come up a little bit.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. There's some wealthy people.
Okay. And I have great stories to everything. I'm also a writer. Okay. I'll just.
By the way, too, how long have you been a member?
Maybe 8 months.
Okay.
Maybe.
And do you have inventory of originals that you haven't sold? Like old inventory?
No. Yeah, I mean a little bit, but the stuff I have now, I haven't really tried to sell yet. I've been kind of working on a series. I have 5 48 by 60 big pieces.
Okay.
That have been created over the last 4 months, because after I listened to some of your talks and you talked about like when you're doing art, think about it. Does someone really want to hang it on your wall? Because I was doing a lot of weird stuff, you know, and I was like, ugh. So I started painting a little bit differently. I'm doing this woman series and people love it. And so I created these big ones and I'm ready to kind of at least launch like the 5 I have, but I'm like, I don't know how, part of me is like, oh my God, is it really worth 10,000? Am I being an idiot? How do I, I don't want to pay that. I don't want to pay that fee.
Are you originals only?
I have prints. What do you mean? Like,
I mean, like, have you basically, is your business basically originals only? Like at least 80% of your sales is.
It has been, and I sell like cards and some prints at little shows and stuff, but not significant.
Okay. I just want to make sure that when, like, as you're approaching the art marketing calendar and all of that, that you're seeing that through the lens of originals, right? So, like, what I mean by that is it's probably easiest for me to give an example. There was a gal that Patrick and I were talking to the other day, another Art Storefronts member, and she was like, she sells a ton of originals, right? And the price range, if I recall, was somewhere between $750 and like $2,000, something like that. But they're small, and she sells a ton of them. And when she came onto Art Storefront, she's like, and the reason we were on a call with her is because she was like, I'm not getting any traction, like similar. I'm not getting any traction online, right? Like the purpose of this workshop. And so when we unpacked it, she had basically, like, when she came onto Art Storefronts, she was basically like just trying to do everything with prints, even though all the success that she had in her business for the last like 2 years was all based on originals. And so I said, last fourth quarter, did you give away a print, during like the last print giveaway? And were you sending emails out and like off like print discounts and things like that? And she said, yes. And I said, I wish I could hit the rewind button and go back and have you change everything to originals. Like, by the way, do you have originals, like any originals that you haven't sold in a while? She's like, I've got a garage full of them. And I said, there you go. Take one of those originals and do an original giveaway, right? Instead of a print giveaway for $150. Stick with what has been working and promote that. And like make the art marketing calendar and all that, like apply it to your business and the traction you already have. Don't just completely shift, because I think that if you do a similar thing in your own way with your price points, and you're going to have to figure this out. But if you do that, you're going to be able to use everything and really amplify your specific business and what is working. And I think that could really benefit you over the long run. So I'm really curious about your last 8 months and like if you've kind of done that or if you haven't, and if you have any questions about that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand your question completely. If I've done.
Well, number one, it's, I want you to follow the art marketing calendar, right? But I want you to do it through the lens of what is working. So maybe in it, like, I'd love for you to do a giveaway to like really increase the amount of, customers that you have or leads that you have that are qualified. But if you did that, maybe you paint a very small one, or maybe you've got something that's been in the garage for 3 years, that you're like, okay, I'll just give this one away. Or you may not do a giveaway at all. I'm not like telling you got to do it, but all I'm saying is that when we're talking about like the fourth quarter and romance marketing and all of that, it should always be your originals and what's working. If you're going to do prints as well, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with doing prints. But the point that we made to this other gal was that I asked her, I said, have you ever sold prints before? And she's like, I never sold a print before Art Storefronts. And she wasn't selling many because her whole audience was just people who buy originals. They didn't care about the prints. And I'm like, forget the prints, like just amplify that. You got something right there, right? And so, use the marketing to build that business. Don't change this business. And I made the point that despite the fact, like if you want to keep selling prints, there's no problem with that, but understand that you basically just launched a new division of your business and it's not something that's ever worked before. And so 5% of your time should be focused on maybe watering that plant of these prints. And 95% of your time should be on this originals business that is clearly doing well and has been doing well. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I haven't applied the Art Storefronts marketing online to originals because I haven't bought into it. And because I'm not doing originals, I'm not doing it at all because I'm like, I don't know about prints. I'm so focused on the originals, but I'm applying some of the things I've learned through Art Storefronts. I'm pounding the pavement, like I'm joining groups, I'm walking into places. Can I have a show? Can I do this? And so it's working locally.
So,
but I haven't applied the marketing to originals. I've just separated it.
So let's talk about that topic, right? So the premise of Art Storefronts is that, the real problem in the industry is that everybody has a marketing problem. This is what the big website companies or any website company doesn't want to talk about, is that 99% of most businesses fail right? Like, and so it's so easy to launch a website on WordPress or anything else. Obviously not like a really good art gallery type of website, but just in general. But the big problem out there is marketing, right? That's what's going to make the difference between somebody succeeding and failing or doing better. And so the premise of our business is that we have put together a marketing product, right? There's only the existing marketing products that are out there are like consultants, right? Or consulting firms, and you have to pay them on a bulk basis. Like, hey, I want you to do an SEO project on my site. And they say, okay, that'll cost you $2,500. And then when that's done, it's like, that's it, right? It's like, you want to get something else done, you're going to have to pay them for that. You're going to have to pay them for that. And so what we did creatively here is we said, we can kind of turn this into like an artist co-op, right? Where if everybody pitches in one membership fee, right? And then we can have a marketing team accessible to everybody. And we can, give them marketing coaching, business consulting, and do anything we can to help them grow their sales. And they don't pay another dime ever. They get literally marketing and business consulting like this for life. And the people who are successful with it pay a little piece. That's where the transaction fee comes in, right? For everybody else to be able to have this until they're successful or not, right? So that's the premise. So we tried to create something that, because we knew that when I looked at this industry, and I've been in the art industry for 20 years, and I looked at it and I go, there's no way that these people can hire a consultant, because the normal progression is you hire a consultant, and then when that works, so you spend money doing that, then you hire somebody full-time or part-time that works for you, right? That's the progression. And so when you talk about consultants and how expensive they are, $100, $200 an hour, that are, if you want to talk about anybody good, it's going to cost a lot of money. So we needed to create something that would work for everybody, and allow them to hack away at their business until they made it successful. So bringing this back to you, what my job is that I'm looking at your business and I go, okay, so, like a transaction fee on an original is like 5%, right? Okay, on whatever plan you're on, right? So 7.5 on the top plan. So you can get that to 5, but whichever one it is, I need to increase your sales by 7% of originals. As in that, with all of this marketing, the art marketing calendar, the whole thing, direct one-on-one advice, everything that we're providing, we have to, as a company, provide you enough value to where we're increasing your sales by 7% on those originals in order for you to break even on it, right, with us. But we're obviously looking to do way more than that. Like, we want to help you grow way beyond that. So if you haven't sold any originals online at all, and we help you sell, you've sold one. Okay.
Yeah, it was a little guy. It was like $165, a little
right.
one. And she would have paid full price and she used the coupon.
Yeah. Well, what I want you to do is I want you to use the art marketing calendar all year long. I want you to apply it to you. I want you to get this stuff out there. I want you to believe in what we're trying to help you with here, right? That we know what we're talking about, that we've got the benefit of seeing the data and working with 3,000 of you guys, right? And so it just works. And so at the end of the day, that's kind of what has to happen, right? I want to provide you with enough value to where you go back at the end of the year and you go, Nick, I had 0 online business, or I had $1,000 of online business before Art Storefronts, and you guys took me to, 20,000. And then the next year it goes to 40,000 and then 70,000 and stuff like that. That's what we're trying to do here. Does that make sense? Now,
right. Yeah.
And having said that, I also want to say, I'm not trying to pitch you on it. I'm perfectly fine that you're apprehensive, to do that yet, that's okay. Dip your toe in the water, try something. There's ways to not have to go all in on it. But I think that if you do, you're going to see the benefits, and that'll give you more confidence to take it further. Because I think that with the way that things work in general is you're gathering leads. This is just a business in general. You got to gather leads, as many as you can, of qualified people, right? Now you gather leads to get qualified people, but in your case, qualified people are higher net worth individuals who are going to spend money on original art, right? And you want to get as many of those people as you can. So you got to do all the marketing tactical that you possibly can to grow that, because that's what's going to really grow your sales, you know? And by following the art marketing calendar, you're going to be romancing these people continually, you know? And that's part of the dance of selling these types of pieces, right? Like there's got to be a connection there. There's a lot of one-on-one, you know? Or there should be a lot of one-on-one, like you'll sell more if you're doing more one-on-one. What I mean by that is like, you know, individual emails. And I mean, I know a lot of our Art Storefronts painters that sell high ticket items that are like, yeah, I text with my collectors. It's just, you know, I've got guys that bought 5 pieces and I'm texting them, like they're texting me, and it's just part of the deal, right? But hey, they've spent $10,000. So hey, they might be the most qualified person, you know, to spend the next 5,000 or 10,000. Yeah. So anyways, does that make sense?
It does. And I think I need to shift my thinking and apply the Art Storefronts marketing plan to originals. I keep thinking like, oh, that's for prints. And I'm so overwhelmed and busy and working on originals. And I'm like, I don't have time for that. I really haven't. I mean, it's gone kaboom in the last several months. And, awesome. But it's originals. But if I can focus it, if I can think about it, switch my thinking, marketing, originals, and if I can get the prices like he's talking about, I'd be thrilled. And I think it's worth, I think artists, you know, I think my art is worth much more than I'm selling it for. And that's been a journey in itself. So.
And raise your prices too, like experiment with that as well.
Yeah.
One step at a time.
Becky, okay. Yeah. Use us and everything that we're trying to do for you to grow your originals business. Use us. We are here. Right? Like,
and that's that's the bigger, like saying it a different way, because Nick says it differently than I do. In part of this is our own problem, right? Because if you don't tell your own story well enough, then people start telling a story about what you are. We get pigeonholed into this like print box. Like, we don't care.
No.
At the end of the day, do not care. The only thing that is going to help us succeed and thrive in a company, if a bunch of artists and photographers are having a tremendous amount of success. And so that's what we're laser focused on. If we are 2 oars in the same boat, and if we can get them both rowing in the same direction, we're going to win. This business, art, photography, hard, so many challenges, so many challenging different aspects of it. You need as many different revenue sources as you can get. Whatever revenue source is working, we want you to go all in on that. The marketing piece is the most fundamental thing that underpins all of it, because it doesn't care. It does not matter what you're selling. It makes no difference what you're selling. If you want to sell something, you are going to need attention to be able to sell it too. The only way you can get attention is marketing. And so the marketing at the end of the day applies to any single solitary business or any weird revenue situation you're in. I don't care if you're selling coasters. I don't care if you're selling blank canvases. I don't care if you're selling ideas. It doesn't matter. You have to get attention. And so if we can continue to get all of you guys up to speed and getting better at marketing, it does not matter what revenue source is the best for you. And we certainly don't care. Go all in on that. Worry about these other ones later and bolt them on later. But if it's originals, I would go all in on originals. I mean, that's your jam, right? So marketing, though, not to be underestimated is
could not agree more. I could not agree more with that. And I love that you said it, Pat, because I hate it when people put us into that box. You guys are all struggling entrepreneurs. And I know that world. That is my whole life. That's all I've done. It's literally all I've done. I've started 6 companies. Several of them have failed. Several of them have been successful. I've gone through everything. And and I'll tell you guys this too. You'll love to hear this. There isn't a single business, like my successful companies, there isn't a single one of them that I didn't think I needed to shut down at some point. And at least 4 or 5 times where I was like, wait a minute, is this really going to work? And it's really funny because I look back on those and I just go, wow, you know, like your mind is just, it's telling you things and it's hard to do. You know, like it's really hard to run a startup and build a company. But that's why when it comes to this product in particular, I know what you guys are going through and I know what you guys need. And I know that Patrick does as well. And we're training everybody at this company to understand all of this also, so that we are essentially here to be like just an ongoing, endless resource for you guys constantly to take your businesses forward. Because the thing that I know is when you're struggling, like when you're a startup and you haven't sold anything yet, you got to figure out how to get traction. We talked to some of those people already on this call, right? Well, I know something else, that once you start getting some traction, you get to the next stage, right? You might have 20,000 in sale. You're like, oh my gosh, it's starting to work. It's starting to work. And then all of a sudden you hit a wall and you got to get over that. And then I mean, I'll just tell you this, the walls don't end. The walls they never end. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're at 20 million in sales, there's that you're on your next wall, right? So there's walls all the way. And to have like, mentors and to have a team that's like just all in on you and learning everything that we can about this business and sharing everything and putting everything together, that's what this whole thing is about. And I do not care at all where you have success in your business. If it's originals, if it's scarves, I don't care where it is. Wherever you get traction and what works and however we can build your business is what matters to me. That's it. And if it doesn't make us another penny, then I don't care. It doesn't matter. Like, that's it. Like, there's no more transaction fees, anything like that. Like, if your business is something like, and we advise you and you're selling originals offline and that just blows up and you can't sell online, I don't care. I will give you all the advice and we will continue to advise you on every way that we can to grow that original business offline. Just tell us about it and let's talk about it and let's figure it out, period. So whatever it is that makes your business grow, that's what matters. And Emily from earlier, I want to make sure you see this too, but a point on this was a customer call that we did with Zan. It's on our blog. Taylor, if you could add this into the show notes as well. She had a thriving commissions business, thriving. And she was shifting to prints. And all we did on that call, as you guys know, commissions have nothing to do with what we're doing here. All we did on that call was point her right back to the commissions. And I said, I want you to go all in on commissions, because you've got something that's thriving. She had multiple channels working, like she had leads coming from one source that was working really well and another one. And I'm just going, oh my gosh, the only thing you need to do is grow that. And she kind of responded, she's like, well, I don't really love doing those. And I said, then hire somebody. Like, you've got something that's really going there. Go amplify it. Go build that business. We'll help you do it any way that you can. So I think that that's a really important point. Like, tell us what you guys are working on. I don't care what it is. And as long as it's relevant, of course, don't tell me about, if you've got like a refrigerator, fixing business or something like that. But you guys get the point.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah. And the stuff I've been doing is working well. I mean, it's working well here, but my town is small and I need to start moving out of it.
Cool.
So I'll apply it to originals and process this. So yeah,
Awesome.
I've gotten some, yeah.
Awesome,
So,
Beck. Sounds good.
cool. Thanks.
All right. Who's next?
Let's
Do we have
see.
anybody else?
We might have exhausted questions unless anybody's got a follow-up.
Oh no.
Any resources for creating a catalog? Yeah, there's a catalog feature, Debbie. Are you familiar with that? Yeah. So if you're in the jump to menu in the site manager, like where you go to
I unmuted.
orders.
You can talk to Debbie if you want.
Okay. Yeah. There's catalog in there, and there's some pre-made designs in there to print out a catalog. It's actually pretty cool. You got the QR codes in there. You even have like live preview, like AR codes. So like somebody could literally like shoot it with their phone on the spot and instantly like project it on the wall.
Okay.
Which is super cool.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Well, no one has any other
anybody else have
questions.
any other follow-up questions that you guys want to ask while we're here? Oh, Marie wants to get back on.
Oh, I see the hand raised. Okay, unmute.
Hello again.
Hey, Marie.
Okay. I had another follow-up question to, like, this is kind of an alternative to art shows. So recently there's been an opportunity that's come up in my area. There's an artist who is trying to gather a group of artists and use an old store space at our local shopping mall. We have there's probably 750,000 people that live in the Quad Cities, I'd say. And North Park Mall is the main shopping mall for the Quad Cities. And there's an old Payless shoe source there that is not there anymore, and she wants to rent it out and
do a co-op.
do a kind of like a co-op thing. But at first I was almost totally sold on it because she was only going to charge $40 a month for a 4-foot wide wall space that goes floor to ceiling, right? So I'm like, that's so cheap, you know, like I can't do an art show for less than $200. Usually they cost up over $400 to do one show. And then she also had this other space within that store that's like a 400 square foot space for like $400 a month or something like that. And I was like, that's still cheaper than doing an art show, which I was like, but then the thing that I'm concerned about is, for one thing, the storefront would be a different name. It wouldn't be my name. For two, it's a co-op and they're going to be running it with volunteers, which scares the crap out of me. And for three, the store hours are not going to be consistent with the mall store hours. It's going to be, the mall is open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Saturday, right? And then whatever it is on Sunday. They want to do 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday through Saturday. So my question is that, I don't know, it seemed like financially it seemed like a decent move, but then I'm worried about their store hours are kind of wonky and I don't know.
I mean, my feeling right off the bat is like, again, if you're going to do it, only dip your toe in, do not commit to anything long-term. Like, hey, I'll try it for a month. And
she wants a 1-year commitment out of everybody.
Of course she does.
Yeah.
No,
nope.
I would not do that.
Yep. 1 year.
I would negotiate. I'd say, I'm down to do a month right now. Like, do you want my money? You know what I mean? Like that, the same way I'm telling you to
I think she's an artist too. So she's trying not to like overextend herself financially too. So
of course, but you got to watch yourself, you know, and try to find, there's ways to do this, right? Like there's ways to negotiate. Maybe she'll say,
you're froze up.
You guys have me?
You're fine for me. It's got to be just on her end.
Everybody froze up.
It might be just for you, Marie.
Oh,
I'll say it anyway. You may have to listen to this after the fact, but I would say, you know, she may come back and say, well, can you do 3 months? And, you know, you can figure out whether you think that's worthwhile. I think the other thing too is, you know, find out if you can, like, how can you take advantage of that space? Can you do a gallery show, a gallery opening of some sort with your people and like have some easels up and put a lot more of your art, you know, where you can try to turn it into a lead generating event. But that's all I would say. It's, again, you can see the theme, like dip your toe in, don't do any long commitments until you know that it's going to work. I wouldn't be the guinea pig with a 1 year commitment personally. I don't think you have to. Normally, whenever I negotiate these types of things, you usually always win.
Yep.
So.
And I love the, oh yeah. We'd love to get you in here. It'd be fantastic. It's a year commitment. No. How about no? I'll do a 1 month commitment and then I'll be guaranteed to give you the other 11. Because what happens if I rent this thing and no one comes here, period, at all? Then you've got a year's worth of my money. They always try to get you that.
There's always ways to do it. There's always ways to do it. Like, something that I do all the time with startup companies or companies that I've invested in. Like when you rent office space, the landlord, I don't know why this is a standard, but it's like they usually want like a 3-year lease, right? And Debbie, you may want to listen to this, like if you're thinking about opening a gallery at some point, or anybody thinking about opening a gallery. And I've been at this so long that they almost never want to take it, right? But you can negotiate and get, some people won't do it, but you can negotiate and get a 1 year lease. And sometimes people are like, I'm not going to do a 1 year lease. And I say, okay, well, if we pay you the 1 year up front, will you do it? And it's like, oh, interesting. So they have no more risk anymore. They got basically a year of cash in their pocket. And then we don't have the 3 year liability for this startup company that may be going down in 1 year, you know? So you can use those types of tactics. So like if the person, doesn't want to do 1 month and they want to do 3 months, it's like, hey, I'll do 3 months and I'll give you the cash right now. Right. And that's a bird in hand. So there's ways to do it.
And we got one comment on Facebook from Cynthia Decker saying, I make half my income from co-op style galleries and I wouldn't take that deal as you expected. And then I think in the chat, who said this? Mary said that she does quite well with them too. So it's not to say that a co-op is a bad deal. It's just a deal of you giving me money up front, like no chance.
Absolutely.
Like, don't make it sound like we're anti-co-op or anything. No chance.
Actually, there's another Art Storefronts member in the Small Wins group I was chatting back and forth with, and I can't recall who it was, but she was talking about how she's really successful in her co-op, and however, she's selling, but she's never collected any leads. And she said, I think I know what you're saying, Nick. I got to start collecting leads there. And I said, yes, exactly. Because if you're really selling well there, you could be, again, collecting 20 or 30 or 40 times the amount of leads that you are making sales. And then you can start romancing those people and turn them into more buyers. And then I said, hey, you should start contacting other co-ops and tell them that you're selling well in yours. And if that whole strategy works, that whole system works, that's her faucet. Right? That's her faucet for leads. And so she can maybe get 3 or 4 other co-ops going. And then she's generating a ton of emails and she's getting sales. And then she's plugging all of that into the art marketing calendar, to romance people and to really squeeze the orange over time and maximize her sales. That's a great model, right? Find where are you getting traction? Pour gasoline on that. Think about it, analyze it. What is the abstraction of it? Okay, where can I do more of it? How can I get more out of it? How you can get more out of it is always, either closing more deals on the spot. Well, you're probably doing that. And if you're not, I gave you some ideas on this. But the other point is capture as many leads as possible. That's where 99% of artists and photographers that we are talking to are missing the boat, right? They're selling, but they're usually not focusing on getting all the leads that they can from every location that they possibly can. Sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes oftentimes galleries won't let you. If you're in a co-op, you can probably pull it off.
I think that's good. I think we've covered it unless anyone's got a last one. Any follow-ups? I don't see any hands going up. Mary, you've been really patient. I got a smile. I'll take that smile. I'll take that smile, Mary. I'll take that smile. All right. Well, I think we leave it there. I put in the chat the link. It's a work in progress, but it's up there a few. So if anybody wants to get that thing, there's the links in it, and we'll probably continue to update that in case we missed anything. But it's got all the links. It explains everything. The one about Facebook Live and Instagram giveaways, there's a little finger pointing up to it, but it should be all pretty clearly labeled, so you guys should be good. But huge thanks, everybody, for being a part of it. Hope it's valuable. If you have any feedback, definitely let us know. We want to make these things amazing.
Drop a comment and let us know if you liked it, if you got value out of it, please. And also, so all of you guys know, we're going to be doing